Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to talk about how a gynocentric, feminized welfare state cuckolds all men. I think that we are experiencing this on many levels, and I think that there's a biological basis for this as well. Nature is essentially gynocentric. It looks after the women and the children. That's the purpose of the male-female relationship. The dynamic is that the male in nature is essentially a protector and a provider. And in exchange for that, the male has sexual access to the females. And the better he is at it, the more choices that he has. This is the way of nature. This is the way of herds of animals. This isn't any sort of oppression or anything like that. This is just the functions and roles in a sexually dimorphic species. And, that's what we are. That's how it is. I think some people, might disagree with that and they want it different. But I kind of like it myself. However, the role of the male has been supplanted, has been replaced by the state. And this is a self-perpetuating system. Once you put a system, an unnatural system like that in place, you are transferring wealth and resources from the men who have earned those resources and who are worthy, thereby worthy of it, and should, reap some genetic biological reward for it. It's tied to physiology. This is why, the males display colors. And this is throughout most of the species. The rooster, the silverback ape, gorilla rather. It's real. It's so real that, the dominant male changes colors. So it's tied to our physiology, this dynamic with the men and the women. It is fulfilling our destiny. And not just, like in some unthinking animal way, but this is what we are made for. Therefore, that is our destiny. But when women get the vote, they vote in a welfare state that's designed to take care of them, provide them with resources and security. Therefore, the men lose their sexual market value. So it's just like a man is married to a woman and suddenly, there's 3 new women in the household that are all younger and prettier with a better attitude than she has. Well, her sexual market value has just gone down the drain, assuming that, they're not monogamous. And in this day and age, why on earth, they're not? Why should they be? The women are able to sleep around because they're not depending on any particular man for resources or protection. It really is like, the man having 3 attractive women around with his wife. Well, that would be very difficult for the wife. That would be impossible for the wife. So if the state is going to provide housing, money, protection, that's it. The men have no value to the women, except maybe for their attractiveness. And this is not, an important quality to the majority of men, nor is it necessarily an important quality to reproduce in the men, unless you actually want a civilization, of boyish men. And if you were in charge of the civilization, you might very well want something, just like that. Emotional women in the workplace to tax them, and boyish men who seek the validation and approval of the women. That's what we're moving towards. That's largely what we have. That's the model that our entertainment industry portrays and projects. This is why there are no positive male role models, or very few. See, the women are very unhappy. This is miserable for the women. It's bad for the men, but it's miserable for the women. Do you think you're my equal? Do you think you'd like to be in charge? Well, take the lead. Congratulations. The women are unable to fulfill their destiny, their biological purpose and function, which is, and I hope I'm not going to get in any trouble here, to have children, to raise a family. I'm not saying that that's every individual woman's, fate. She's not required. But yes, biologically, that's the direction that she's leaning in. And by the time she's in her 30s, early to mid-30s, she's very desperate to have children. And while it's not the same, men are always inclined towards most healthy men that have a decent testosterone level. They're geared towards being protectors and providers. They will play the hero role. They will work harder, than the average woman or the boy. They can do that. There's a reason why, men at a certain level start to build castles and giant architecture. We are inclined to do these things, just as the women are inclined to have the children and to nurture the children. The men are inclined to build one hell of a nest, right? If you can get everything lined up and everything healthy, look out. It transforms the surface of the world completely, right? We have cities. It's just amazing, the scope, the scale, the complexity. Men do that. Women don't do that. Individual women can, fulfill some of these male roles. They can take a man's, job. They can do that. But rarely, are they as good at it as a man, and nor do they even get better at it the same way as a man can, as some men can. So roles, biological roles, dynamics that men and women interact have been fractured, have been destroyed. And now they're unhappy emotionally, and it ruins health as well. It destroys health. So the men are dying, and the women are not reproducing. And your main reason is that we've been using technology and society, cultural norms, political correctness, to usurp the natural roles. Now, some of the women hearing this, now there's not many women listening to this video, but some are thinking that Howard Dare is suggesting that women have to take a submissive role in society, in life. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that a woman is a woman and should try to, be the best woman that she can be. She should not try to be a man. And a man is a man, and he should try to be a man. And he should not be shamed for being a man. So you understand, the problem right now, okay, and I know this is going to be hard for a lot of you to accept, a lot of the women listening to this video, so there's not very many, is that men are being abused and punished for being men. It's as if being male is a crime. So the men, especially the young men, the boys, are adopting these female attitudes. And it's very unhealthy for a man. I know, I've experienced it. Men are not the deep emotional creatures. They are hardworking, practical creatures who have emotions, but they need to largely overcome and control their emotions in order to be an effective man. Otherwise, they're too stressed out. They can't hunt, they can't focus, they can't concentrate, they can't get things done. Whereas, just, my personal view of it, and let me know what you think in the comments section, is that the women are primarily emotional, reading people's expressions, moving towards fields that allows them to interact closely with people, soothing them, comforting them. Men don't do that. No offense, I just don't want to do that. I would rather build a bridge that the city can walk across. I would rather spend my time doing that than actually holding someone's hand. You know what I mean? That just doesn't appeal to me. Strangers, someone, I don't know them. I would rather just do my work and be good at my work. And, there's a whole host of physiological triggers that happen as a result of our behavior, right? So I want to be good at my work. I want to be acknowledged for my work. Do women feel these things? I imagine so, but I don't think it's tied so directly to their physiology. So I think we've really upset the balance in this natural dynamic between men and women. And if some women want to say, or, some social justice warriors want to say that, well, there were some injustices that needed to be addressed, that's fine. I wouldn't disagree with that. There are some concerns as well. And now there are some serious imbalances that need to be put back in place, because I hope you could see that the direction we're going, it's not a great direction. Women are becoming more unhappy. Men are becoming more unhappy. They're dying at an earlier age. They're dying sooner and faster. They're depressed. They're hopeless. The reason why they can't depict positive male role models in the media is because it will upset the women too much. Think about it. There's the woman in her mid to late 30s, the quality men that she considers in her league, these are men in their 30s that are making more money, than the women. So they're not interested, in the 35-year-old woman. They have access to the 20-year-old woman. So the 35-year-old woman, if she wants to get together with a man, with an individual man, she has to lower her standards. And women hate to do that. Women that are lawyers don't want to go out with car mechanics or marry them. They don't want to marry them. Notice that men who are lawyers really don't have too much of a problem marrying a waitress if she's, the right woman, right? We are very different. The suggestion that we are the same is one of those hurtful things to men. Women don't realize, even the men don't realize it. So the 35-year-old woman, maybe she's a lawyer, she goes to the movies and she sees a movie of a happy young couple, a family, a white couple with a good man, strong, stable, involved. But, when I say strong, I mean in control of his emotions and able to take care of the situation. And a happy, woman and a happy family. How do you think she's going to feel watching that movie? She's going to hate that movie. She's going to get up and she's going to walk out of that movie. What she needs to see, what she will consider, entertainment, is a movie that confirms her feelings towards men. So it's the same thing with television. You know what I mean? If she's coming home and she's watching some television and she sees a happy couple that looks like her, she's going to say that's bullshit. That's not the way it really is. And she's going to turn it off. But if she sees a story, about a worthless man who sleeps around, that can't be trusted and is more of a problem than he is a help, that's going to, confirm her bias. So she's going to keep watching that one. As strange as that sounds, unusual as that is, that's the way it works. So that's why you can't have positive role models in entertainment and media of men. Imagine if she has a child and the child is watching this and says, why don't you have a husband? Why don't I have a father like that? Imagine how upsetting that would be. So I hope this offers some insight as to what's going on, because I believe when people understand the situation that they're involved in, they can exercise some control over it, and then they can feel a lot better. So let me know what you think about this in the comments section below. And please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate. And join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, everyone.